Miracle is a seasoned digital marketing professional with an extensive industry knowledge in social media marketing and advertising, email marketing, Google Ads, chatbots, and analytics. She currently leads the marketing and communication team of Zatec, a startup based in Netherlands where she built the framework for the team, developed the strategy that will drive both the offline and online marketing, and is currently overseen to ensure proper execution and brand representation. Over time, she has successfully developed and executed a good number of digital campaigns for different brands in over 8 industries, including professional services and luxury brands. She has achieved this through in-depth research, storytelling, and understanding consumer behavior. Her goal is simple: to connect brands with their target audience. She is passionate about digital literacy in Africa, and through her annual event, #Skill Fiesta, she has helped to kickstart the digital career of hundreds of youth. The community We Lead Africa is currently partnering with Facebook and Digivate 360 to train SMEs on digital skills across 7 states in Nigeria. Miracle is a great writer with a specialty in personal development and has over time collated her thoughts into a first book titled There, a professional guide to living out your seemingly impossible dreams, and our second book which earned her the Amazon best-selling author badge, The Goal-Setting Blueprint. She's also your go-to person for public speaking, especially when it concerns youth and teenagers, and has raised 30+ stages in the last 1 year. Speaking on issues like volunteering, goal setting, skill acquisition, writing, people management, and has been featured in different media houses for the same reason.
Impact Marketing Summit. I mean, it's been a long time coming, and to be honest, if there's a team that I've seen that has been more organized as to pushing an event, it has to be the Social Impact Marketing Summit team, because first they reached out early, plans have been in place, so I know that a lot of preparations have gone behind the scenes to make this work, and it's a privilege to be considered to be amongst one of the speakers for this great event. I also celebrate other speakers that will be speaking to on this platform. And you know, every one of you that's taking your time to attend this, I promise you that it's going to be an amazing learning experience, and you will be glad you came. So briefly, in the next 20 minutes ish or so, or 15 minutes, as much as I have, I'll be speaking on building footprints in the digital world. When I saw this subject, I was like, why me? But then I understood that we'll probably have been able to, create some level of footprint and visibility throughout the years to have been considered worthy to speak on this subject. Most often than not, I like to tell my story because my story is literally all I have, and that's literally all I know how to. How have I been able to, build this digital footprint, and how can it help you? Right? I started off as a very naive girl, just like most people. Just very hungry, very naive, always seeking to do more. Born in one of the slums in Lagos, it's Boer. I've always had this quest and this knowledge to do more. I've always known that there has to be more. I can't just be at this level, right? So I went into school after my secondary school and all of those, and jam happened to me just like jam happened to some of. I mean, if you're watching from across the world, in Nigeria, we have a body called JAM, where students have to write the exam before they're able to get into the uni, right? So JAM happened to me, and I couldn't study medicine, so I was given microbiology. So something critical that became a life-defining moment for me in my course of study was in my 300 level. So in 300 level, people go for industrial training. That's what we call IT, right? And what you do is you apply to companies to intern with them for a period of 6 months. You wouldn't believe that it was so difficult for me getting into a company as an intern. Most companies did not want me. I love food processing. In fact, Dora Queen used to be my hero when I was growing up, and I wanted to major in food microbiology. However, just like most people that may be familiar with the story or are experiencing the story, they didn't want me, right? So it was very, very heartbreaking and very, very, very sad. I tried hospitals. Hospitals clearly said that, oh, they wanted med lab scientists. So it became a very, very defining moment. And I said to myself, I'm just on 300 level and I'm struggling to get a place to work, right? How do I create a future for myself when employment is a problem? Good. So how did that make me, how did that push me? I then I became to a realization that the only thing that I have is my voice. The only thing that I have is my personality. The only thing that will distinguish me from the 7 billion of or how many billions of people on the earth is that there is only one me. And how would you know, or how would I make people understand my person if I do not showcase myself? I mean, I actively started writing. Then Facebook used to be the primary platform for socials. I used to write a lot on Facebook. I used to share my thoughts. I mean, a couple of people here may have known me from Facebook, although I've slowed down from that platform for now. But I used to write a lot, God. I spoke about, my challenges. I shared about my day-to-day. And again, I would explain this when I come to the steps. But then it made me an avid reader. I read a lot. I used to read a lot because for you to share, for you to give, you cannot give what you do not have. So because I began to read a lot, because I began to research a lot, and now I had a lot of content that was worthy of sharing, right? So pardon whatever background you're hearing, we are in Nigeria, I mean, things will happen. My neighbor will not let me be great, but let's move on. What was I saying? So I used to be an avid writer. I used to write, I used to document my process, I used to document my thoughts. I used to document a lot. And I discovered that I began to garner a lot of visibility. A lot of people began to know who am I, right? I joined platforms. Like Headset Africa. I joined platforms like Open Network. There were lots of platforms that I joined at the time that made me meet amazing people. I connected with a lot of amazing people like John Biggie, like my very good friend right now, Victoria, like a lot of people I connected with on the social media platform. But that came because I understood that the only thing I had was my voice, was my thoughts. That's how I met like a very great friend as well, Elijah, who taught me about, the need for tech, because he was always writing about tech and, venturing into digital marketing. And that was how I began my career into tech and, the person that I am today, which is a marketing and communications expert. And I've worked across, various countries and various industries. Now, how do you build a digital footprint? How do you build a digital footprint that can be, just one second, that can be tracked, that can be recognized, that people can relate with? First thing I would say to you is understand that there is just one you. A lot of people ask me, how do I start? What do I do? There are a lot of, there are a lot of people speaking on the online space. There are a lot of Instagram likes, there are a lot of Facebook likes, a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of this, a lot of that. Yes, there are a lot of 1,000,001 people, but my dear, there is just one you. There is just one Miracle Ewim. There is just one Ella. There is just one Desmond. There's just one whoever you are. There is just one you, right? Understand, be self-aware enough to know that no one else can be you, no one else can do it like you will do it. I think self-awareness is the key to creating a digital footprint that would outlive you. Then secondly, you need to ask yourself, what do I have to offer? A lot of people these days are all over the place, and people can sense shallow-minded people. Personally, I can smell people that are shallow from 10 miles away, and I don't want them near me. You need to ask yourself, what do I want to be known for, right? What is the brand I am trying to build? What is my niche? That's what I name, right? There are 1,000,001 things that people talk about. There are 1,000,001 things that people can do. But there's one thing that is peculiar to you, and there's only one thing you can be passionate about. I am very particular about tech and personal development because that is what is near to my heart. That is what I practice. I work in the tech space, and I was able to get that through personal development because for every stage in my life, I have been self-taught. So I am self-aware enough to know that this part works. It has worked for me, and I want to show people how to, bloom in that light. There is food, right? There is fashion, there is beauty, there is lifestyle, there's entrepreneurship, there are tons of aspects that people can speak about. There are creators. You need to find out that one that is peculiar to you, that one that resonates with you, that one that speaks to you. That will be your hinge, right? So do not be among those people that are all over the place. Today you're an authors coach. Tomorrow you're a lifestyle coach. Next tomorrow you're in tech. The other day you're like, okay, I think one thing that would help you, and I think that was one thing my mentor said to me, because I made this mistake as well. I'll explain to you. Because I'm a microbiologist, I'm also in the health sector, right? And I used to volunteer a lot. Back in the days, right? So when you see volunteering opportunities about health, I'm there. When you see volunteering opportunities about tech, I'm there. When you see volunteering opportunities in fashion, I'm there. When you see volunteering opportunities in children, I'm there. I was literally all over the place. So I'm speaking from a place of experience. Then it was a life-defining moment when my mentor said to me that when people think Miracle Ewim, what do they think about? And to be honest, I could not pick one thing that people would connect me to, because I was everywhere at the time. I was creating this group, I was writing this, I was doing this. So I was all over the place. So it had to become a moment of self-realization for me that, oh, what do I want people to remember when they hear Miracle Ewim? So you need to ask yourself that question. What do I want people to remember me for? What do I want to be known for? Who do I want people to see me as? Right? This will help you cut out a lot of distractions and a lot of things that are not important to you. Niching cannot be overemphasized. Choosing and focusing on a niche will help you go far, right? So having identified the niche, the next thing to do is to ask yourself, okay, I'm here now. This is what I'm trying to do for myself. I always tell people, you cannot give what you do not have. What do I need to do? What do I need to know? What communities do I need to join that would make me an expert in this field that I have chosen? What organizations do I need to be part of? What professionals? Documenting your process so that people can be able to appreciate your growth, right? So you need to be able to niche down. You need to be able to know, okay, which courses do I need to take? And we're in an era where you can research on literally anything. So for example, you want to be an expert in, let me just take one weird thing that people want to do these days. It's not weird, everyone wants to do tech. Maybe you want to be a UI UX designer, right? You need to ask yourself, okay, in UI UX, what are the courses available? What are the professional bodies available? What are the skills that are required for me to become a UI UX designer, right? You go and learn those skills on Coursera, on Udemy, on HubSpot, on Google. A lot of programs, a lot of, the opportunity there. There are a lot of things that are available out there for people, free courses, even the paid ones that can help you become an expert. And you might say, oh, I do not know. Thank God there's LinkedIn. That brings me to my next step, right? It's to research on the experts. I did this exercise some 4 years back. I listed the people I wanted to be like. And I went on their LinkedIn profile and I sat on it. And I began to look at the professional courses they've taken. I began to look at all the organization they've worked at. I was stalking them to know the events they will be at. And I made sure to attend those events and network. Most of them are my friends now. And when I attended those events, people attend events to snap pictures. Me, I attend events specifically to network. I have known the people that are going to be at that event. I've done my research. I know them. I've known their profile. I know where they work. So when I go to that event, I exude confidence. I'm a very confident person naturally. So I walk straight to them and I speak to them from a place of I already know you. Not old. I'm speaking from I already know you. I already know what interests you. So I have like very intellectual conversations with them, ask them questions that they've not answered anyway. And they'll be shocked. And right now, they're like, I call them my bones, my G's. Like we talk, it's very crazy, but I'm telling you the reality. That's what happens. That's the beauty of doing your research and positioning yourself properly. So go on LinkedIn, look at the people that you know are already doing what you envision or what you embody or you want yourself to be, right? And what do we call it? Rewind. Take those steps. People are, these days very, very easy. A lot of people have said, I ran so you can fly. They've done the hard work. So right now, you just need to mirror the expert. And trust me, you would fly. Even what took them 5 years, what took them 10 years, you can crash it. Now it's in 1 year, right? Now, I've taught you about, mirroring the experts, correct? What do you now need to do? A very, very important thing to do is now to document your process. Like I said to you earlier, people appreciate growth. People appreciate when they can relate with a child that is growing. For example, there are people that used to take care of you when you were a child. When they see you now, the first thing they'll say, oh my God, you've grown. Oh my God, you're this. They're happy, they're excited because they couldn't believe that, oh, this child that used to be like this is now this person, right? So what does that tell you? Growth is people can see growth and people can appreciate growth. So do not be afraid to document your process. If there's one thing I'm glad I did, is that I documented. Even the times I failed, I talked about it. Even the times I succeeded, I talked about it. Even every event I attended, I talked about it. As I was networking, I was talking about it. So if I go back to my Facebook feed now, I smile because I look at what I've done in the past. And I'm just like, oh my God, I've really come a long way. And people can see with me that, oh, I've come a long way. There were times where Ella could not even invite me to speak at an event because I was literally nobody. But because I was able to create that footprint, I was able to document how I started, where I am, my growth level, even up until now, I'm still documenting my growth level, my this, my that, taking life one step at a time and not being ashamed to talk about who I am now. And again, I said to you from the first time that I recognized there was only one Miracle Ewim, and I was not ashamed to show the world that there was only one Miracle Ewim. So I flaunted myself. I talked about myself. I appreciated myself. So document, don't be afraid to document your process. Don't be afraid to talk about your journey. And again, you need to understand the dynamics of platforms. In the digital world, that's where a lot of people, miss it. There is such a thing as the dynamic of platforms. When you're trying to build a footprint, you want to ensure that your tone is platform appropriate, right? So you want to ensure that when you're on Facebook, you're speaking from a place of friendliness. You're speaking from a place of family. You're speaking from a place of you're representing yourself properly, right? When you are on LinkedIn, you're speaking from a professional tone, your professional challenges, your professional growth, your professional experiences. On Instagram, you're ensuring that you're carrying yourself appropriately. The pictures are doing the speaking. On Twitter, you are speaking on trends and all of that. That's if you choose to, right? So these are some of the things that would help you when you document your process. I'm telling you, you will be glad you did. Then another point is network. Oh my God, I cannot overemphasize the importance of networking. I was saying to my friend just yesterday, that I used to think my circle was small because I'm a very private person. Like I'm a very, very, you might think you know me, but you really don't. Like I make you see what I want you to see, which I think most people do as well. So I'm a very private person. And I'm planning an event and I'm working on a strict guest list. By the time I sat down to think about the people that I know personally, I was like, oh my God, how do I know this number of people. I was stoked. I was like, I'm in serious trouble. How do I plan this thing on the street guest list? Right? So that made me to understand that over the years, I have mastered the art of networking. When I step into a room, I am coming out, Nigeria has happened. When I step into a room, I am coming out with phone numbers beyond what you can imagine. Like, I am coming out with a lot of phone numbers. You can trust me to do that. Like, you can trust me to come out of a room with phone numbers, with pictures of people in the high places. No jokes, right? So I have mastered the art of networking. I know what it means to network. I know what it means to speak to people on like very, very high levels. When you network, and some of the best friends that I've had, I'm not going to lie to you, are people that I've met online. People I've met at events. People that, when you see your stuff this day, you're like, oh my God, I never knew that, oh, you know this person. You knew this person. Have you guys known forever? And I'm like, no, we just met. That's what happens when you master the art of networking. You meet a lot of people that you naturally wouldn't have met, maybe because of your background, maybe because of where you grew up and all of those things. So in your industry, in your career, wherever it is you are, as you are growing, connect with people. A lot of people say, oh my God, I'm shy, you cannot be. There's a lot of responsibility on your shoulder. You cannot afford to fail. You cannot afford to allow shyness take the best part of you. You cannot be shy. I say to my siblings every day, you cannot afford to be shy. What are you shy about? If you go to walk up to them and tell you no, you move on to the next one, right? So you must be a master. I don't know if there's a session that teaches networking, but then again, when I speak of networking, I'm like, people will only network. People only want valuable people on their circle. That's why you need to document. So if you're trying to talk to me and I go online and I research, and I type your name, if I look like you can be of value to me, I would connect with you. But if I go online and I don't see anything that's of value to me, then I'm just like, I don't want the liability around me. That's why it's important to talk about what you do. You also need to learn the art of writing. We are not in a generation where you say, oh, social media is not for me. I don't know how to write. I'm leaving writing for the writers. You cannot afford to do that. You cannot afford to leave writing for anybody. You need to master the art of writing. You need to master the art of networking. Extremely important, right? Then, this might sound basic, but how do you put yourself out? What kind of pictures do you have? I'm smiling because in my time you might be like, is this not just picture? But nah. What kind of picture do you have? Something as basic as a professional picture can elevate your level. You do not know. John Vides used to say something like much earlier in the years. He said that the Bible taught us a very important lesson that we did not listen to. That God looks at the heart, or man looks at the outward appearance. That we're thinking that, oh, it was just a lesson for David. But no, it was a lesson for us. That people will see you first before they want to talk to you. When I look at your profile, it will make me see whether I want to talk to you or not. Invest in professional photography. You will need it. It will help elevate your level, right? Invest in your outlook, how you look, how you attend events. Do not be timid. Like, when you show up well. And this thing is not things that you do via breaking the bank. These are things that you do via intentionality, knowing that this thing needs to be done and I'm going to do it, right? So I think that if you start the art of some of these things that I've talked about and put together, again, I'd like to do like a brief summary. Know yourself. Understand there's just one you. Identify a niche. Streamline to what exactly you want to talk about. Streamline to what exactly you think resonates with you. Then do your research. Read. Be an avid reader. And again, people make a mistake these days. They read to teach. No, do not be that among those people that are reading to just teach or go out there. Read to understand, read to become a better person. Act, take skills, take on skills that would help you become better. Take on skills that will help you master your craft. Then apply your craft. I think I missed that. Apply your craft. Now, this digital footprint documentation speaks to both you as a person and your business. For example, if you're trying to build a career in social media management, after learning it on via all these courses, next thing to do is to apply the craft. Create a dummy social media page for your business. I'll give you an example. I went to speak at an event, and one of my friends said to me that my friend was like, I'm looking for a social media manager for my business. That he needs an intern for a social media manager. I said to him, no problem. Now I've been invited to speak at an event, and I'm teaching digital marketing. I'll try to teach social media management. After that, I'll carry on like a mini interview because they said it was an urgent role that needed to be fixed. I said, okay, no problem. After that, I'll carry out a mini interview. Anyone that you know speaks to me, since you are looking for an intern, will employ the person immediately. He was fine with that. We got to the interview, and the only question I asked them, because I mean, it's an internship program, I'm not looking for an expert, is, oh, have you taken on any social media course? They said yes. I said, okay, show me a page of a social media platform that you've handled. Many of them did not have. And I'm like, okay, you've learned social media management. How are you applying it? How are you practicing it? All of these things are the footprints we're talking about, both you as a person and both you as a business. But there was one lady there that is still dear to my heart. She's now a mentee of mine. She had a page that she had been practicing for no reason. She just kept posting and learning. And she was employed on the spot. I'm not speaking what I heard outside. I'm telling you about something that I did. Right? So she was employed on the spot because she had a footprint that we could look at. So apply your craft. As a person, you write about your growth, write about your process, network with people in your industry, attend events, talk about them. Then 50, your appearance. How do you want people to perceive you online, right? Ensure that you have a courage that is worth aligning to. Ensure that you have a brand that people want to associate with. Be intentional about your personal brand. This is not an era where you post whatever it is you like on your page and all of this. I mean, you can have a page where you do that. I'm not all about being all serious. You can have a page where you do that, but also have a page dedicated to your personal brand. That and as much as possible, try to be on brand. The pictures, your brand color, the events you attend, the friends, the kind of conversations you have. For example, you're part of this event. If I were you, after this event, I would go online, what I used to do back in the days, and I will write specifically my key takeaways from every speaker. And as the speaker, I'll be excited. Oh, this person was keen enough to learn about what I said, or took down notes, and the person tagged me. If that kind of person sends me a DM, I would respond, because that person has taken it a notch further to not just only receive, but also document and put out there. I believe if you do these things very, very judiciously, you'll be able to create a digital footprint that people would want to recognize, people would want to share, and people would want to connect with. Please feel free to drop your questions in the comments or shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to take it from there. Thank you so much, Ella. I think that'll be all.